All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. A huge play there right off the bat. 44 yards. They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
From the 30 on second down, Mahomes. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Robbie Anderson. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. McManus's point after is good, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Ready? 10 Lobo. Switch it, hit it.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
They run. Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, touchdown number 22 on the season as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
To throw, it's Mahomes. Dancing to his left. He's going to fight his tight end. That's Chris Herndon. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play. Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Phillip Lindsay, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Broncos have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 30-yard line.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Quick throw here to Hilton. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Check, 47. Leo.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. 2nd and 9 now. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Now he's forced out right, and he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
On 2nd down, a run with Lindsay. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Under 10.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Rush in, rush in, squeeze.
Now it's Freeman. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On the heels of that good carry by Devontae Freeman, here's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. 2nd interception for him now here in this first half, and you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it, his teammates going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Defense wins championships, baby.
On 2nd and inches, Mahomes. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Being chased out left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Got out of the pocket, didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it, live to fight another down.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. A give, running right, Lindsey. Breaks the tackle, he's got room to run. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Phillip Lindsey with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
The Falcons take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready?
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Hey, Charlie. Mike's 47. Mike's 47. Hey,
They're going to look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Calais Campbell, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Fielded at about the 28. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
On 2nd and 9, Mahomes. He'll find Lindsey here. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. Boy, so another interception. CD, it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This is the tight end fan. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Hey, Ripley. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
They'll look to run with Freeman. Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. They give it off here to the tight end. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down. The last 2 runs have gone nowhere, and now another showdown looming on 3rd and goal. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And last time, 1-play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, A lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
2nd and 13. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Von Miller.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Calais Campbell in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again.
At their own 49-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Robbie Anderson, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Broncos push further out in front. Extra point from McManus is good. And the route is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
That one goes for 24 yards.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield, a really nice pickup.
Set, ready? 18, Gator. Check, 47. Check pass. Check pass.
And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
On the double. 47's the mic. Watch the flood, watch the flood, watch the flood.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got it to Hilton. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 29-yard line. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
I smell fear now. Hey, Alpha. Mike's 47. Mike's 47. 65. 65. Get it. 65.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Ready to break. 47, check right 47. Go. Go. Ready.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
47 to Mike, 47. Check, 47. Come on. Watch it.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Now Ryan Suckup will come on and try the field goal. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and that will cut the lead down to 3 scores at 24. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Complete to Hilton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 46. Ito Smith, his first carry. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They go back to the ground with Smith. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A first down run, not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. And it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check, 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 check. Mike's 47.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Von Miller picks up his second sack of the afternoon. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
47 Mike, 47 Mike.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. They'll run. It's Lindsey. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's second and 2. Now here's Mahomes, rolling to his left, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back, and they did a great job in the first half. But now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
Mahomes going to throw. Airing it out for Hamilton. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Second and 2. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Now
back to throw. Escaping the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Von Miller, who else? He's in there for his fourth sack of the afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive? It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. That goes for a gain of 31. So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for first and 10. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. This is caught. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. They'll try to run with Lindsey, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Phillip Lindsey with another touchdown, number 24 on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. McManus's point after is good, and the lead will swell by one more. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a 2nd and 7. Looking deep for Hilton. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Got it.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. They keep it with Smith on 1st down. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the 2nd half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now Ito Smith. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They'll try and run for it with Smith. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Another run by Lindsey. He's got a 1st down and more past the 30. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st down, it's Lindsey. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They got to feel pretty good about that one.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Here's Mahomes to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by DeMonte Casey. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
The Falcons take over.
Come on, set. 10 over.
The 47-yard line.
A 1st down carry for Smith. The 20. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A big pickup of 38. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Smith trying to run for it. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard that time. 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the 1st battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Broncos, they continue to roll as the win gets...